Are you dreaming about moving to the United States? If you are one of the winners, don't move ahead with this application before watching this video. I will give you important information about how to make your case successful and how to get your green card. As you know by now, winning the DV lottery doesn't necessarily mean that you will get the green card. So please watch carefully. Hi, my name is Remzi Kulen. I'm an immigration lawyer. I helped thousands of people achieve their American dreams. And I want to help you in getting your green card if you are one of the lucky winners of the DV lottery. Let's start with the basics. What is DV lottery? DV lottery is a random green card distribution process where US grants 55,000 green cards to DV lottery winners every year. The goal is to increase geographic and cultural diversity in the United States. Therefore, DV lottery is open to countries whose nationals are represented less in the United States. In this program, the world is divided into 6 regions, and if you are a winner, you will have a winning number starting with your region first. Your case number will determine when you can start your green card application process and when you will be called for an interview for green card. So when and where are the results going to be announced? The results will be available during the first week of May. As of the date of the shooting of this video, the Department of State has not yet announced when the results will be at the website. However, once we know about it, we will post it in the information section below. Once the results are announced, you should go to the government's website and have your confirmation number and your last name ready for you to be able to check whether you are selected in this year's lottery. There's a few important things here. First of all, you don't need to pay anybody to get the results. It's in the government's website. Secondly, you definitely need your confirmation number, which you got when you first filed the application back in October or November. Once you've learned that you are selected in the application, you need to fill out the DS-260 form. This form allows you to get in line for consulate interview once your number becomes available in the visa bulletin. So every year, Department selects many more than 55,000 people because they don't know if these 55,000 people they have selected will apply for the green cards. So they always select a larger group of people. So if somebody doesn't apply, they can move on to the next number. So let's talk a little bit about the winning numbers, because you will be assigned a specific number as a DV lottery winner. If your number is on the low end, you will probably get the green card without a problem. On the other hand, if your number is high, there might be a chance that you will not be able to get the green card in the long run. So this is how it works. Your DV lottery winning number will be important for you to follow up the visa bulletin. What is Visa Bulletin? Visa Bulletin tells you on a monthly basis which DV lottery numbers are current. They will start from 1 and they will continue moving the numbers to the upper numbers. And they will do this by region. If you are in one of the European countries, for example, you will follow the numbers starting with EU. The 6 regions in the DV lottery category are Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, South America, and the Caribbean. So you will need to follow up your number based on your region according to the visa bulletin. If your visa number is available and if you are in the US, if you're following this process from the US, you can file your adjustment of status application, which I will talk about in a minute. If you are waiting an interview at the consulate abroad, then the consulate will monitor the visa bulletin for your number to become available to be able to invite you for an interview at the consulate. One final thing about the DV lottery results. You need to be aware that the US government will not email you, will not call you, or will not text you your results. These are scams. So you need to be very careful about the scams. The only place you can check your DV lottery results is the DV lottery results government webpage. One of the biggest misconceptions in the DV lottery space is that most of the time people think that winning the DV lottery actually means guaranteeing the green card, which is not true. Just because you won the DV lottery doesn't necessarily mean you will actually get the green card. The reason for that is there's always a larger group of people who've been selected in the DV lottery announcement than the number of people who will actually get the green card, which is 55,000. And the other important factor is the time period within which you can get the green card. Once the results announced in May, you have until the September 30 of the next year to get the green card. For example, this year you will get the results in May 2025 and you will have a chance to apply and get your green card until September 30, 2026. If your interview date is beyond that date, or if you cannot get the green card by that time, you will lose your entitlement to a green card. Another factor in not being able to get the green card, although you won the DV lottery, is the situation we're having right now with the consulates all around the world. Before COVID, the consulates were very good with keeping up with the visa bulletin numbers and granting the DV lottery winners interviews for their green card applications. However, after COVID, a lot of consulates and embassies fell behind in DV lottery visa interviews, and they were not able to keep up with the visa bulletin in granting interviews to DV lottery winners. Even though the DV lottery numbers move in the visa bulletin, it may not be possible for you to get a green card from the consulate. On the other hand, there are some other less busy and more friendly consulates who can accommodate DV lottery winners from different countries, third country nationals. So it is very important to get to know your consulate and try to predict whether you will be able to get a visa appointment from your consulate with your DV lottery winning number. This prediction will probably be based on how the consulate reacted in the previous year to DV lottery interviews. How many DV lottery interviews were issued at your consulate last year? What is the highest DV lottery winning number that your post issued an interview for? So this information will likely determine whether you should pursue your green card application with your consulate. If you think that you will not be able to get your green card interview at your consulate, there are two other options that you can consider, which will increase your chances of getting the green card approved. The first one would be to transfer your case to a different, less busy, more friendly consulate. You can do that by communicating with the consulate directly. The other option would be to come to the United States and file for an adjustment of status within the US. For you to be able to use this option, you need to make sure that you have a valid visa to enter to the United States and make sure that you can stay in the US while the application is completed. You need to follow up the visa numbers, and you will definitely need to work with an immigration attorney if you want to follow up with this option. Because filing an adjustment of status application within the US is more complicated than applying at a consulate for your green card. So how do you proceed after winning? If you want to continue your application with your own consulate or any other consulate, you need to file a DS-260 form. So you file the DS-260 form for everybody in the family, and then you just wait for the consulate to give you an interview. You don't need to send any documentation other than filing the DS-260, because you will be providing all of your personal documentation to prove that you are eligible for the DV lottery during the time of your interview. The intake of the DS-260 and the application process is handled by the Kentucky Service Center in the United States, and your interview will be issued at your own consulate, at the consulate that you have chosen in your application, or if you want to transfer your case to a different consulate, at that consulate. If you are going to be interviewed at the consulate, you will be issued an immigrant visa at the end of the interview, which will be valid for 6 months. Within that 6 months, you need to enter the US. If you don't, then your visa will expire and you will not be able to travel the US again. So how do you follow up the process if you are already in the United States with a valid visa? This could be an H-1 visa, F-1 visa, E-1 or E-2 visa, or you may have a tourist visa and you may want to come to the United States to follow up your adjustment of status application here in the United States. In this instance, you do not need to fill out a DS-260 form because that's for the consular application. What you need to do in the United States is called adjustment of status, and the form that you need to fill out is called I-485. There are some other forms that need to be completed with this process, and it's a little more complex process, as I told you, and there are certain time periods that you need to wait for before you file the application. One very important change from last year is the consulate which is handling your application, or USCIS, will no longer require the COVID vaccination in the health examinations. This is something that prevented some people from getting the green card, although they won the DV lottery, because they did not want to have the COVID vaccination. But this year, COVID vaccination is not required, both at the consulate level and at USCIS. So therefore, even if you don't have the COVID vaccination, you will be able to get the green card. You still need to get the health report though. So let's say you are scheduled for an interview at the consulate or an interview at the USCIS. What are some of the documentation that you need to present during the time of the interview? First of all, you need to prove that you either have the educational requirement or the experience requirement. For the educational requirement, the minimum is to have obtained a high school diploma. If you don't have a high school diploma, then what you need to have is 2 years of experience at an occupation, which would require at least 2 years to get prepared. These occupations are listed in the Department of Labor's website, and any occupation that has an SVP code of 7 or above is considered an eligible occupation. SVP is an acronym for Standard Vocational Preparation, and it indicates how long it takes to be prepared and get trained for an occupation. So if you have at least 2 years of experience in such an occupation within the last 5 years, then you would be eligible for the DV lottery green card. Other required documentation during the interview include birth certificate, police reports, marriage certificate, divorce decrees, vaccination records, and medical exams. If your marital situation has changed since you have won the application, you can update your application at the time of the interview. Do you need to speak English at the interview? The answer is no. The DV lottery application does not require you to show fluency in English. That's a different application. That's what we call naturalization application down the road after 5 years after you get the green card. But in this specific application, in the green card interview, all you need to do is to be able to communicate with the officer properly. So if you want to use a translator at your USCIS interview, you can do that. If you're interviewing at your own consulate, the interviewing officer will talk to you in your own language and will not require that you speak in English. How long does this process take? It really depends. If you are waiting for a green card interview from your consulate, depending on how busy they are, depending on what your winning number is, it may take anywhere between 3 to 12 months to complete the whole process. If you are following up this process within the US as an adjustment of status, it depends. It also depends on how busy USCIS offices are and what your winning number is and how long, and actually when you file the application. It is our experience that if you file the application anywhere between October and January, it usually takes 3 to 6 months for USCIS to decide on your case. If you file your application anywhere between April and August, it usually takes USCIS to get back to you within 2 to 3 months. In some instances, we were able to get shorter period of times, and in some instances, it took longer for USCIS to either issue an interview or an approval without an interview. I want to commend USCIS in their handling of DV lottery cases, that they know DV lottery has a certain period of time within which the applicant should get the green card, and USCIS offices try to move these cases faster than the others. In quite a few instances, for example, when the client's DV lottery number was high and we were able to file the application close to the deadline, USCIS was able to expedite the cases and issue the green cards without the need of an interview. So USCIS basically waived the need for an interview and issued the green card based on the file. I tried to explain you what you need to do after winning the DV lottery and how you can increase your chances of actually getting the green card after you won the DV lottery. I hope you find this information helpful. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about this video, and if there's something that I didn't mention or you're not clear about, please write me on the comment section below. I will try to respond as much as I can. I wish everybody lots of luck, and I hope to see you in my next video.